Hi, folks. I'm Phil Mullen. I'm speaking to you from England, and I've got a kind of a speech which I'm going to read, which I suppose is like what I call a 7 years ago when first our forefathers came onto this land type of speech. So I'm going to read that. And I want to start by thanking very much my very good friend Lee Willingham for this opportunity to talk to talk to this first group, all of you guys, first group of graduates in Canada in community music at bachelor level. Fabulous, brilliant to talk to you guys. Now, some of you will continue as careers, will develop careers, hopefully, in community music. Some of you will move into music education, and some of you music therapy and other areas. But my hope, my strong hope, is that you will all be profoundly affected. And I would actually say you will all be shaken to the core by your experiences at Wilfred Laurier. Yeah? By your experiences coming into encountering community music practice. As I was. Now, I trained to be a community musician 35 years ago. A very long time, and that was on the first ever community music training program. Yeah. Now that wasn't in a university. That wasn't in a university. That was actually in a basement rehearsal room. Yeah. We didn't graduate. We weren't graduates. We weren't students in that sense. Our program just ended because it wasn't an academic program. It was a practice-based program of job training for unemployed and impoverished being the main thing, musicians to get back into work, to become community musicians. Somebody had thought this up. And of course, at the time, and still today, pretty much every musician, except Elton John and Bono, are impoverished musicians. Yeah, so I was very lucky to get on that program. In fact, I think Bono applied for the program, but he was too busy feeding the world at the time and he couldn't go to the interview. My main teacher on that program was the community music giant, as we recognize him to be now. He's long passed away. John Stevens, the radical activist music educator who developed the search and reflect methodology, which you may have read or come across. Yeah. Now, John was a very radical guy. His goal was not to simplify music as such, but to uncomplicate the musical encounter, to take away anything that was not needed and bring it to its radical root point. Yeah. His goal in that was that we would become better versions of ourselves within the group through the nature of our interactions in the group. Yeah, better versions of ourselves in the group through our interactions within the group. So in music, as well as in life, every human, as we know, has an equal worth. Yep. And so as an activity, music should celebrate the collective power of all our equal contributions. And John's music was the first I came across that rigorously and meticulously did that. Yeah. So really interesting thing that the music was designed for the equality of the contribution. In my working life, and no doubt in yours coming, yeah, pursuing this equality, yeah, creating or trying to create what I call oases of respect and value, yeah, in my work throws up daily decisions, daily dilemmas. These are ethical dilemmas. These are dilemmas around power and equality, yeah. And we had these with John. So with John, one day when we were students, we were invited into a school. We were going to work with the students in the school, secondary school. And we were delighted to go. We were honored to go. We went there. And as part of the early procedures, the local newspaper photographer had come in to photograph this event, which was going to be put in the school, put in the paper, etc. And so the head teacher came down and started organizing the kids in rows. And sitting in the front row, of course, was a student who was significantly overweight. And the head teacher says, no, you're too fat to be in the front, you go to the back. Now, it's a shocking statement now. It was shocking then, but it was the type of thing that would happen then. If it was me, I would have said, excuse me, let's keep the kid in the front row. Please, let's not have any more of that. And I would have taken charge of the situation. Now, John did take charge of the situation, but not in that way. He was a radical. He was really radical. So he just went to the whole team, let's go. And we all left. We just all left. And we said, we can't work in a school like this. It was a fascist school or something, he might have said. So John was a very controversial character, very argumentative character. He never really worked in universities. I brought him in for 2 days to work in a university when I set up my course. And even those 2 days were quite controversial. But the point that I'm making is, John, at every turn, could be relied upon to do the right thing. And this question of ethics, this question of what comes up on a daily basis, how you have to make choices and decisions that are different than you would if you were a mainstream teacher, is so strong. I wanted to kind of spend quite a bit of time on it. As we're experiencing life today, during this current terrible coronavirus tragedy, it has, despite the devastation, and I'm not trying to belittle that, it has given us this small opportunity to change the world, to create the world anew. Yeah. If you think about it, delivery drivers, people who empty bins, empty garbage, care home staff, very particularly nursing staff, as you recognize, frail people, elderly people, seniors, are for now, for the moment, more valued, as far as I'm concerned, more valued than I've ever seen in my lifetime. Yeah, it's an extraordinary small pocket of time. Yeah, and at the same time, it's true certainly in where I live in England, the politicians, the so-called people of authority, the people who fool us, the people who divide us, they are for now seen for what they are. Yeah, so there's a little opportunity of time to change the world. Community music approaches, excuse me, have an immense contribution to make in keeping alive and developing this spark of a more equitable and value-driven world. We can do this. Yeah, through your work. Yeah, through your work, countless people, and particularly those marginalized by society, will create wonderful things through improvisations, through compositions, through recordings, through performances, yeah, that they never thought they could do. Perhaps you, when you meet them first, might think they might not imagine what they can do. Yeah? Maybe, I don't know. But certainly that nobody around them could believe they could do. Yeah. And through performing these pieces of music, creating these pieces of music, they can change how the world views them. Yeah, these underserved, as you call it over there, underprivileged, marginalized, excluded, oppressed people. They can change how the world views them and how they see themselves in the world, which is tremendously exciting when somebody realizes their own self-worth through music. This can only be done if your contribution is purposeful, is ethical, and is brave. You have to be an agent of change. You have to. You have to say, no, there's something wrong here. Let's fix it. Let's do something new. We are an unequal society. And this divisive inequality, yeah, is as much, if not more, part of music than it is of anything else. Unfortunately, music is like that. Refugee kids, First Nation kids, disabled kids, young people with mental health issues, young people with challenging behavior, young people in trouble with the law. The list goes on, and I'm still only at young people. We haven't talked about older people. We haven't talked about seniors. All of these people should not in any way have less access to music, less chance to progress in music, less chance to really achieve in music than anyone else. And their music provision should always be based on their needs, their abilities, and most of all, their interests, the things they want to do. Yeah. As you know, this equality in music that I've been putting forward does not exist fully anywhere in the world at all, as of yet. Yeah. But That is what we have all, you and me, collectively signed up for. That is the community music gig, to make that happen. Yeah. Whether that is working, I work in England, whether that is working on this idea of working for a musically inclusive England. That's the goal. That's a stated goal. You could call it a tagline for 13 organisations in England to which I'm loosely affiliated. Whether that is making inclusion happen at local level, at province-wide level, or at national level in Canada, yeah, or whether it's moving to international online community music provision, where you're connecting and celebrating the music of people who've previously been excluded, people who've been oppressed, people who've been marginalized. Yeah, that's the goal. And we as a community of professionals will walk the walk to challenge and to change the status quo. Yeah, to create dynamic environments of musical respect and mutual respect, and to enable the people we work with, and also to enable ourselves, very important, to grow together, to become, through music, the best humans we can possibly be. Thanks very much. I'm Phil Mullen, and I wish you all the best with your future careers. Thank you. Bye now.